So, Year 7, let's talk the final extract. And it's a sad one. It's a climactic one. There's a lot of action. And tragically, pretty much everyone's favourite character, Piggy, meets his sad demise, as you will know, in this terrible scene that's a sort of expression of the inner violence that has been nurtured within the boys as they lean further and further into savagery. This is now the sort of final expression of just how terrible they've become. So, let me just read through the extract, then I'll just talk about it a little bit, and you can annotate it. Which is better, to have rules and agree, or to hunt and kill? Again the clamour, and again, zup! Ralph shouted against the noise. Which is better, law and rescue, or hunting and breaking things up? Now Jack was yelling too, and Ralph could no longer make himself heard. Jack had backed right against the tribe, and they were a solid mass of menace that bristled with spears. The intention of a charge was forming among them. They were working up to it, and the neck would be swept clear. Ralph stood facing them, a little to one side, his spear ready. By him stood Piggy, still holding out the talisman, the fragile, shining beauty of the shell. The storm of sound beat at them, an incantation of hatred. High overhead, Roger, with a sense of delirious abandonment, leaned all his weight on the lever. Ralph heard the great rock before he saw it. He was aware of a jolt in the earth that came to him through the soles of his feet, and the breaking sound of stones at the top of the cliff. Then the monstrous red thing bounded across the neck, and he flung himself flat while the tribe shrieked. The rock struck Piggy, a glancing blow from chin to knee. The conch exploded into 1,000 white fragments and ceased to exist. Piggy, saying nothing, with no time for even a grunt, travelled through the air sideways from the rock, turning over as he went. The rock bounded twice and was lost in the forest. Piggy fell 40 feet and landed on his back across the square red rock in the sea. His head opened and stuff came out and turned red. Piggy's arms and legs twitched a bit, like a pig's after it has been killed. Then the sea breathed again, in a long, slow sigh. The water boiled white and pink over the rock, and when it went, sucking back again, the body of Piggy was gone. This time, the silence was complete. Ralph's lips formed a word, but no sound came. Suddenly, Jack bounded out from the tribe and began screaming wildly. See? See? That's what you'll get! I meant that! There isn't a tribe for you anymore! The conch is gone! He ran forward, stooping. I'm chief! Viciously, with full intention, he hurled his spear at Ralph. The point tore the skin and flesh over Ralph's ribs, then sheared off and fell in the water. Ralph stumbled, feeling not pain, but panic, and the tribe, screaming now like the chief, began to advance. Another spear, a bent one that would not fly straight, went past his face, and one fell from on high where Roger was. The twins lay hidden behind the tribe, and the anonymous devils' faces swarmed across the neck. Ralph turned and ran. A great noise, as of seagulls, rose behind him. He obeyed an instinct he did not know he possessed and swerved over the open space so that the spears went wide. He saw the headless body of the sow and jumped in time. Then he was crashing through the foliage and small boughs and was hidden by the forest. The chief stopped by the pig, turned and held up his hands. Back! Back to the fort! Presently, the tribe returned noisily to the neck where Roger joined them. The chief spoke to him angrily. Why aren't you on watch? Roger looked at him gravely. I just came down. The hangman's horror clung round him. The chief said no more to him, but looked at Sam and Eric. You got to join the tribe. You let me go, and me. The chief snatched one of the few spears that were left and poked Sam in the ribs. What do you mean by it, eh? Said the chief fiercely. What do you mean by coming with spears? What do you mean by not joining my tribe? The prodding became rhythmic. Sam yelled, That's not the way! Roger edged past the chief, only just avoiding pushing him with his shoulder. The yelling ceased, and Sam and Eric lay looking up in quiet terror. Roger advanced upon them as one wielding a nameless authority. Okay, so, at the culmination of the boys' savagery, we get this extract which is full of violence, ferocious energy, that then leaves a really terrible consequence. So, go through and annotate the language and what it shows you. Some things to really look out for. Again, atmosphere is built in this scene using sound very well. Sound that helps us to imagine a sort of deafening environment to be in. Then look at things like the reasons why Piggy seems so vulnerable in this scene. Look at ideas in the way that Jack is expressing himself. What sort of character does he seem in the way that he is described at this stage? Interesting, the term that he gives himself. Even the punctuation used to show how angry and energetic he is. And then in the moment when Piggy dies, look, for example, at things like the punctuation. When it says that he was hit by the rock, it also says in the same sentence, separated with a semicolon that suggests a sort of balance, an equality almost, that the conch was hit and vanished into different fragments. In this final sector, although the question will be about the death of Piggy, the wider ideas about society look at the way that Roger gathers a sort of momentum. Roger now wields a nameless authority. As one wielding a nameless authority, that should be highlighted because that's worth talking about. Why has Roger suddenly assumed this position, this status? What has he just done? And then also the description that's given to him. So work your way through the green highlighted text. If there's anything else that's not green that you want to talk about, please do annotate it. But work your way through the green text for now, annotating, using comments. Remember, you can add a comment just by right-clicking on something, pressing comment, ding, there's the option to leave a comment. Okay, good luck.